Hello again, everybody. This is Steve Callis speaking of sports. Today is November 26, 2019. We're looking back at the November 23rd Notre Dame victory over Boston College by the score of 40-7. I first want to talk about the defense. We usually focus on offense. Yes, Notre Dame scored 40 points, but we should point out that Boston College has A.J. Dillon. He's one of the leading rushers in the country. He's going to become the all-time leading rusher in the history of the ACC. He's the one you recall in the preview we talked about. His grandfather, Tom Gatewood, was the first African-American captain of Notre Dame and recently went into the College Football Hall of Fame. But Notre Dame's defense did a fantastic job of limiting A.J. Dillon to 14 rushes for 56 yards, only 4 yards a carry. They really did a bang-up job dealing with him a week after dealing with the triple option at Navy. As Coach Kelly said in the press conference after, we've really been able to, our defense is so good, we've been able to adapt to the triple option at Navy where they held them way under their average, and also now to A.J. Dillon in the running game at Boston College. Now, just so you know, Boston College was averaging 282 yards a game. They were fifth in the nation. And the Irish defense held Dillon to 56 yards and all of their running backs to 128 yards total. So that's incredible. That's almost 160 yards under their average per game. So you have to give full credit to the defense. They recovered one fumble. Drew White, Kareem caused the fumble. Drew White recovered it. Kyle Hamilton, who's already a star as a freshman, had an interception. So it really was domination by the defense that really led, I thought, to the victory here. Now, early on, it was a close game early on. Actually, Boston College was leading 7-6 in the second quarter, so this was not a walkover. Coach Kelly talked after the game about the fact that Boston College did a lot of things different defensively than than Notre Dame thought they were going to do. They made halftime adjustments in the second half. It was much easier for the Irish, but in the first half, Jonathan Doerer, we haven't talked much about the field goal kicker, but he had 3 field goals in the first half. He kicked a 47-yarder, his career long. He also kicked a 45-yarder, and his 3 field goals were the difference in giving the Irish the lead, 16-7 at the half. So they were down 7-6. Doerer had already kicked 2 field goals. He kicked the third. They scored a touchdown, 16-7 at halftime, and then the second half was a blowout, 24-0 for the Irish. For a 40-7 final. But you should really focus, even though Notre Dame scored 40 points, you should really focus on what the defense did, because other than giving up one long pass play, they were totally dominant the entire game. I want to talk to you a little bit again about Ian Book. Not only is he the quarterback, 3 touchdowns, leading passer, but also the leading rusher in the game, and that's happened a few times lately for the Irish. I do want to read you some stats specifically, though, on Book, on the running backs, and here they are. Book was 26 for 40 for 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He was their leading rusher, 12 carries for 66 yards. Braden Lenzy on this jet sweep around the left end went 61 yards for his only carry, 61-yard touchdown. You know he's from Oregon and has world-class speed, and he gets out on the edge, and he's very hard to catch. Tony Jones Jr. had another good game, 61 yards. So Book for 66, the other 2 for 61. That's already 190 yards. The Irish rushed for 282 yards, which is interesting because, of course, that's the average that Boston College had coming into the game. The Irish total offense was over 500 yards, so they actually were moving the ball both in the air, 239 yards for Book, and on the ground. So this was total domination by the Irish. And look, I know a lot of people are disappointed. They already have 2 losses. They're kind of out. They were out of the college playoff picture as soon as they lost their second game to Michigan. But they've come back and won all their games since. They have another game at Stanford in a few days that we're going to talk about in the next video. But for right now, Boston College defeated by Notre Dame 40-7. I also want to give you a little bit on the wide receivers. Cole Kmet, Chase Claypool, Chris Fink, the 3 C's, if you will. They all had 7 receptions, and they all caught a touchdown pass. So Book was able to spread it around to a bunch of guys. And again, over 500 yards of total offense. In addition to the defense, those were the 2 keys to the game. Notre Dame 40, Boston College 7. This is Steve Callis speaking of sports. We'll see you the next time.